Entering the Pat Mayo Experience.
Pat Mayo Experience. Pat Mayo Experience. Pat Mayo Experience. Experience.
Welcome to the Pat Mayo Experience, presented by DraftKings 2021 Tournament of Champions picks. I always want to say Tournament of Championship. I don't know why. Tournament of Champions bets. We are not doing one and done until next week because that's when it actually starts. We're going to go through the entire field, break it all down for you. This is the 7th season of the Pat Mayo Experience Golf Pick Show. And Geoff Fienberg is in the studio. We're doing 2 a weeks now with golf and football until football ends.
Excited.
It's a great time of year.
Yeah. Football, playoffs, always good. The golf, this late golf, sort of will even sometimes end after the playoffs. Well, we got a lot of games early in the playoffs, more so than usual.
Yes.
But, exciting. It'll be nice and warm. Those Hawaii scenery vibes. I'm here for it.
Primetime golf.
I like it. Some people don't.
I don't. I like waking up.
I like
waking up on Thursday. I just like that it's happening by the time I wake up on Thursday. It gives me something to do. I'm up with the fucking kids at like 6 a.m. It's like, oh, good. The golfers are going off. Let's see the ownerships on DraftKings. Like that kind of thing.
No, I'm more into it later. I like it later. Oh, man. My wife is like usually pretty hyper aware, but she is gonna get smoke showed when it kicks in that golf is back, Pat. And she knows how playoff format works, but she has not a clue that there's triple barrels for wild card weekend both days and golf is back.
Yeah, my wife is not clued into that yet either. It's gonna be like 16 hours of me watching sports. Ugh. Might have to get the. I usually what I'll end up doing is like because in our place we only have. Maybe I'll come in here and watch the games.
Yeah, you just say you're working.
Yeah, well, I will be working the entire.
You're always working, but I like that. You could just say I've got to go to the office, but you're literally just.
But what I do for like the island primetime games for football is I just put it on my phone and put my phone next to me while I'm sitting on the couch. She can watch whatever she wants.
Yeah, of course. My wife falls asleep so early anyway. I'm watching on my phone and she's asleep and then I just leave the room.
Well, let's get to some of the business at hand here right now. The giant one and done is running out of spots. So if you have not joined it yet, I suggest you go do that right now. FantasyGolfChampionships.com, $300,000 guaranteed in the prize pool, $30,000 to first place. There are 3,335 spots in it. It's $100 to play, 5 max entry, and we're over 2,400 entries right now. So you want to secure one of those spots. I do have some giveaways for it, though. So what you do to get into the draw for the giveaway for a free entry in to the one and done, there are myriad ways that you can do it. And each different one that you do, you're going to get in the draw multiple times. You might as well take advantage of that. So number one, smash the like button to this video. Give me your winner in the comments section and subscribe to Mayo Media Network. All you need to do is tweet at me, hey, I did it. And I will know that you are in it. And that way you can be into the draw. Pretty easy stuff. Also, if you want to do it, if you're an audio listener, we need to bump up those reviews. We need to get as many Apple Podcast reviews as possible. 5 stars, say something nice about the show, leave either your Twitter handle or email in there just so I know how to contact you if you are the one who ends up winning. We'll try to get as many of those as possible. If you subscribe to the Mayo Media Network on YouTube and leave a podcast review and retweet the shows as they come out and say, hey, I did it, you're in it 3 times. You keep retweeting, you're in it 4 times. It's super easy to do. Hopefully I'll have the winners out by Thursday-ish. I think that's pretty good. The Pat Mayo Experience DraftKings Listeners League, I will add the link to the description of this video and podcast once it's available to me. I do not have it yet. The pricing actually just dropped 2 minutes before we started, so I usually get the link a little bit after that. So if it's not there by the time the show comes out, it'll be there later tonight or something like that. Tell people about the show, too. I feel like people need to be watching the show, or at least listening to it.
They're coming.
It's a very slow start to the year. People don't get super jazzed about the
as
Tournament
long
of
as
Champions.
football is happening, I still feel it's secondary. Where's it kick up for Riviera? Because of Tiger, Torrey Pines, sort of like the first. Okay, we're on now.
I'd say waste management because it's only the one football game on the go. It's like,
so
I need
Super Bowl.
I need something else. Yeah, like Super Bowl waste management week is usually pretty good.
But Torrey's the week before waste management.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah.
It's the week after. Yeah, Pebble's the week after. Yes, Tiger comes back. Plays,
Tiger's
and that's where the U.S. Open is this year. People are wondering, we're doing our majors preview that will come out on Thursday this week as we go over all of the majors. What else do I got here? I want to give a special shout out. One thing I mentioned this last year and like no one took advantage of it, but if you have a business and you're a viewer of the show, we got a big community, we got a big following here. I want to give a big shout out to WagnerVineyards.com. I got some wine from there, a Riesling. I'm not a big white drinker, but I tried it. I actually found it at the LCBO here because they don't ship to Canada. But if you're around, they had like the best white wine in New York State last year. Like they won the award. So WagnerVineyards.com, help out viewers of the show. They can get it shipped to your state. Super cheap, great wines. Like, why not go do it, right?
Yeah.
You're not a big wine guy.
No, I'm not a wine guy, but I'm not against it. It's like boring. Other people that like I ruin the party because I'm not like in on that like bottle of wine at dinner. No. I don't need that. But no, I like all things. Not really into wine. Maybe an acquired taste. I don't drink coffee either.
Yeah, that's weird.
No.
You love an energy drink though.
I don't actually. Paul kind of got me on those, and sometimes recording later in the day, I need a bump, and I had one here today. But I got some pure adrenaline, so we're good.
Well, we gotta film the other show after this for the majors, so
yeah,
you'll have to take it in between. I even brought a lunch today, which is not something I normally do. Need to keep that energy up. My column for this is already out on dkplaybook.com. You can go check that out in the description. If you missed out on the fantasy golf draft we did for the year, that's in 2 parts. You can find that up on Mayo Media Network, the podcast feed, or in the description of the video. Ditto for the first look, where I walk through the entire field, all the stats, look back on previous years. I do it with the help of fantasynational.com. If you want to get access to the most customizable stat base on the planet, and all of the tools that go along with it. If you put it this way, if you play more than like $10 per week, either between gambling or DraftKings, you're going to want a Fantasy National membership. So fantasynational.com/Mayo gets you 20% off. If you get the weekly, it's $8 per week. If you get the annual, it's even less than that. So fantasynational.com/Mayo. Go check it out right now. I also have a one and done strategy video up.
I'm happy you didn't include me in that because I have nothing to offer.
I just gave the same basic tips that I always do. Just stop overthinking. Like I even brought up the example last year when I used Russell Knox at American Express. Like, what am I doing using like really shit? I only have 31 picks all year. Why am I wasting one on Russell Knox?
2 weeks into after telling people to just play the good golfers.
I know.
I'm trying to remember. I'd answer that week. He came second. Who even won that?
Landry. And my point was, listen, it's not that you don't want to go down the list and try to take someone, because someone like Andrew Landry, who was 200 to 1 that week, ended up winning. But there's like 70 guys who were 200 to 1. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so not only do you have to figure out that it's a week where a super long shot is going to win, you have to figure out which one of those long shots it is. And most of those guys just missed the cut. But I did kind of mention that there's no real difference between gaining like $30,000 in a week and zero. Yeah. Like either you come top 3 or it's useless.
Just go look at last year's winners. Good golfers win the golf tournament.
Especially post-COVID. It was all good players. So the one and done starts at the Sony Open. So it doesn't start this week. It starts next week if people are wondering with that. But fantasynational.com/Mayo. And if people don't know, you do the Geoff Fienberg show.
Yes. And so we'll be back getting going. Golf in golf season, I guess it'll feel easier, excited. Wednesday nights, which are supposed to lead you into those early Thursday mornings. But still, plenty of time to simmer over all of it. I'm excited to just be talking golf, looking over those final numbers as they sit, whatever the year brings.
And that's up at ftndaily.com if you want to go check those out. All right, enough of that. It's the first show of the year. We got to get some of the conjecture out of the way. Let's jump into the Tournament of Champions. New format this year for the Tournament of Champions. Generally, it's if you won a tournament in the previous year, you got invited to play this event. Half the people would skip it. It was kind of a shitty tournament, kind of a warm-up tournament. Some of these guys stick around to play Sony at Waialae next week in Hawaii. But this year, because part of the season was canceled because of the COVID pandemic, all of the players who won in 2020 have been invited, plus all the players who made the Tour Championship are also invited. So it's going to be fun when Tony Finau gets his first ever win at a tournament where you have to win to get in. But the one year the exception was made, he can end up winning. But he's here too. So it's 42.
You like him?
No, yeah, he's fine, I guess. I mean, I don't like him. What is he, 20 to 1?
Is he that low?
Yeah. Better players behind him. There's one player who's
There's
like...
also better numbers, but yeah.
Yeah. All the odds we get are from DKSportsbook.com, by the way.
And they've got some good ones.
They do have one good one especially, and it's still there. I checked right before the show came on. But that's going to be gone very quickly, I would imagine.
I bet it already shorter.
I bet it already shorter, too, because I can't bet on DraftKings Sportsbook, where we are hopefully soon, though.
Oh.
I hear they're making inroads.
So they got multiple good numbers.
Yes. Either way, Tournament of Champions, 42 players in the field. We normally get like 25, 26, and it's usually half and half, like half scrubs who just, the Stuart Sinks and the Robert Strebs of the world. They're still here, but because they allowed everyone from the Tour Championship to come in, we actually have 7 of the top 8 players in the world, 8 of the top 10 in the field. This is the best this tournament has ever been in terms of strength of field. So I'm very excited for that. Like, it's from, you have like 20 guys here who could feasibly win, and usually it's like 5. Which I'm excited to see. It's a nice intro to the season, and golf needs to capitalize right now. With them really embracing the betting side of everything at the end of last year, like, let's put our best foot forward. And you're going to have a lot of these like isolated time slots right now. The prime time, I think it actually benefits golf when it's on earlier in the day because there's nothing else going on during the middle of the day that you can kind of follow it, keep it going. Now you're going to be up against basketball, you're going to be up against football in the 2 evening games this time around. Even Sunday evening, you're going to have a game that, it's not the best TV situation, but it's something to have on like an alternate feed TV or just something to track on your phone as you go along, I would think.
Well, NBC will have the Sunday nighter and the golf.
Yes, they will dominate the landscape unless you're really like hard on for Rockets versus Thunder or something. I don't know what else goes on Sunday evenings. Is there any like new show I should be watching on Sunday?
I got not a clue. Your Honor, if you're looking for like cable
with Cranston.
But in terms of network, not that you'd watch network anyway. I don't even know if new network shows happened this fall.
Yeah,
I'm
on the dark. My wife has been watching this one on Netflix. I forget what it's called. It's a Shonda Rhimes show. It's like a period piece set in like old-timey England.
Oh,
but
is it like very sexual?
It's very sexual.
Oh, I've seen some write-ups about it, but I haven't watched it.
Just every time I walk,
called.
because like she's watching it, like while I'm doing work, like at the table, I look up, it's like, are you just watching softcore porn? Because that's what it looks like.
That's I don't know what it's called, but I heard about it, and it tells me like it shows up when I want to watch Netflix.
Because you're searching Netflix for like porn.
No,
like
I think
up.
it's just like a popular new release. I don't know what in my past results would lead that to me.
Well, my wife did. You know how Zoom calls were like super hot and I don't know, beginning of April. And they kind of fizzled away.
I think they're back though with winter.
Well, because of winter and the holidays, people got together on Zoom chats. My wife had a Zoom chat with a few of her friends. This was like number 1 talking point was this show.
Yeah.
And one of her friends on the call, like, she's like, "Is this what porn is like?" I mean, what do you mean? Like, is this what porn is like? Turns out she had never seen porn before. Like, no, this is not what porn is like. The musical accompaniment is a bit trashier in porn. And you get to see more stuff. This is very softcore. This is like when you watch like Red Shoe Diaries from like the early 90s. What was that one that was on HBO? Mr. Dream?
Yeah.
Man, it used to be so hard to find a tit on TV when I was like 12. The kids today, they got it so good.
They had like these blue light movies on City TV here.
Well,
in Toronto, Paul, you know what I'm talking about?
Baby Blue 2.
Baby Blue
on like
2?
City TV.
At like
City
midnight?
TV at like midnight.
You are watching.
Oh, buddy.
Well, the move used to be,
Those are
I
the
believe it
days.
was Friday nights and Saturday nights, and this is Canada only, but if you tuned into like the French channel, they would have Bleu Nuit. The softest of the softcore porn.
Okay.
Anyway, fun times. Back
People
to
thought we were getting into odds.
No, we'll get into the course. Par 73, if people forget, for Kapalua. It's almost 7,600 yards, but it's played at elevation. The fairways are wide as shit. It's a super easy course. It played harder last year after they did some renovations, but I don't know if it was because of the renovations or because it was super windy last year for the first 2 rounds. Like, you never had a calm day. So you have to pay attention to the wind going into this event. But, the years previous to that, like Patrick or Jordan Spieth won this at minus 30 one year. People usually get to like minus 24, minus 25, minus 22. 14 under was good for a 3-way playoff last year. Justin Thomas beat Patrick Reed and Xander Schauffele. I remember you and I both bet Patrick Reed, and he had a chance to win like 8 times and then couldn't convert.
And as
that stupid fucking putt on 18 from above the hole. No one could make it.
And what I wanted to say was, as Justin seemed to do all the time in his wins, these incredible like 90-yard chip shots or recovery chips.
He's the best in the biz from 100 yards and in.
like, oh, he drove it wide, but he's got a layup, and now it's that third, and you're like feeling that there's something there, and then he just sticks it. He did it all the time on the wins. He did it in Kapalua, and it feels like he did it where he at St. Jude. He was like in trouble off the tee, and no, 90 yards, got back into play. Now watch. And he just like tap-ins.
Very reminiscent of what Cam Smith did at the Masters. Because he kept getting himself into trouble, hitting it behind a tree, and then he'd make this like amazing 90-yard hooking around a tree to 2 feet.
But Cam's going to have less 5-footers for the week for birdie than JT does.
Exactly. That's why JT has won here twice in the past 4 years. This is a wedge course. Like, it's no different, really. You need to be a bit longer off the tee, obviously. But the comps that I always have, like when you look at previous champions, Masters and Riviera, there's a huge correlation between those two places, Pebble Beach as well. And that's because all the best players end up winning here and there. But if you just want to look like a bit simpler, take a step back, like John Deere, actually, and John Deere and Wyndham match up with this course really well too. It's just that there's so many shots from like 125 yards and in.
Yeah, if you're on, you could score. Any type of player should be able to score here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the Masters and it's the Riviera, but unless you're really going to get a tight lie, which is possible. You get some real tight lies here, but not the most difficult. It's hard to find a real difficult spot. Getting up and down here and making the putts is a lot easier here than Riviera or the Masters.
3-putt percentage at this course is super high. And I think that's why Riviera and the Masters gets included with this. Like good lag putters tend to do well because these greens are enormous. Like there's an 80%, there's an 80% green and regulation rate here. Like guys are just hitting it. Who can hit the most 10-foot putts is essentially how you win this tournament.
But that's...
And Justin Thomas gives himself a ton of opportunities at 10-foot putts. Just we know that some weeks he's a good putter, other weeks he is not. Even last year, like he won this tournament. I think he gained a stroke putting.
There is not a player on the planet, like it's as simple as when he putts, he wins. It's literally that simple. Sometimes in the super big events, when I am debating him versus say a Dustin versus or a John Rahm, it does feel like they've kind of separated themselves as three, even forgetting this week, Rory kind of taking, feels like he's not part of that, or even Bryson, sorry, I'll put with those guys. Of those like super four, he is the worst putter, like pound for pound, despite being amazing at everything else. So sometimes in like these super ultra events, I do get nervous backing him, but in a hit and F and giggle, we'll talk about it, but I'm in.
Past 4 winners, JT, Xander, who lost in the playoff last year, Dustin, when he just ran train on this event, beat John Rahm, and Justin Thomas won the year before that. Patrick Reed has won here. Like good players tend to win here, and first-timers rarely tend to win here, and this event has been won by an American the past 10 years. That could change this time around, although the two most notable, there's 3 players who got invites who aren't playing. Jim Herman, who wasn't going to win, has COVID, so he's not playing, and Rory and Hatton are taking a pass on this. I think they're playing over in the Middle East on the European Tour in 3 weeks' time. So I think that's why they decided to start over there. They're going to be over in America most of the year.
I mean, and Hatton didn't, not only won last year.
This would have been a perfect course for
Yes,
Hatton.
but he became like a made man, where just getting the free payday and free
doesn't need
points,
it anymore. Yeah.
I'm like, he's above that. No, but it's a real result. Like, nope, I'm literally not doing that right now. Xander's the best player here, as you mentioned, his track record with a win and a playoff loss last year. Missed a shorty in that playoff, sort of like he did at the one Berger won.
Oh, Colonial.
Yeah, short playoff. I mean, without the win on the calendar year, he is the best player to get that free pass here.
Yeah, there's a few of them. So there's like him, I guess
Hideki.
Him, Decky,
Finau, English.
This would be a nice just desserts for Harris English.
Answer.
Well, English finally got the win in the team event with Kuchar to end the year, which doesn't count towards getting the invite. But he played so well all year. It's funny, his turn at the Northern Trust when Dustin shot minus 30 and he shot like minus 20 was like it was the best tournament he played all year. Yeah. Poor guy.
You can't win doing that. You mentioned it at the time. You have to almost feel bad for him. Because that's that would have been a playoff win. But yeah, he's here, and then Answer, and that's anyone under 50 pretty much who didn't win.
Yeah.
And everyone else, whatever.
Well, let's get into it.
I don't mean whatever, I just mean there's a lot of guys at the back.
We just don't
Palmer that got in for their
Yeah, this is back-to-back for Palmer. He got to the Tour Championship, but he got in the year before because he won that team event with Rom.
What a guy. Honestly. He's gonna be one of those like Brian Gay type, like just tour card forever legend, the man. Good for you. Enough like huge weeks to never really keep him on a bubble either, because he has his comfort places where he kills
of course.
it.
And one of those is
where he won't win, but he'll kill it.
one of those is next week at Sony. Tends to play Sony. Well, remember he tried to hit that like driver out of the bunker last year, and then Cam Smith ended up winning.
Sounds familiar, but.
But just pay attention to a lot of these guys for next week at Sony
Yeah.
because it's usually one of these guys that wins. And it's sometimes like even a mid-tier guy, like Kisner's real live next week. Could be live here, who knows? But in terms of the betting odds, you got the favorites, you got the big, let's call them the big four, big five. Dustin is 6.5 to 1. Rom is 8. Thomas is 8. Xander is 10. Bryson is 12. Those are your top 5 in terms of the betting odds. Surprised to see Xander above Bryson? I guess Xander
It's
has
like
the course
a course
history.
thing. I was hoping to catch a number on Xander.
Yeah, it wasn't. They weren't going to do it.
They don't do that for anything. They don't do that in a major. They're not going to do it here where he's got the history and it's the no cut and it's the full Xander profile. I really like Xander. I debated Xander, but I bet Justin Thomas at 7 to 1, Pat, this morning.
And he's 8 to 1 on DraftKings Sportsbook.
That is a great number. That's a number that I wish that's a great number. I missed it, but I don't think where I could play I'll ever see an 8, so I moved on my 7.
Are you surprised Rom is 8? Like, why is Rom the same as Justin Thomas in this? I don't understand that. I'm not saying that he should be 16 to 1.
He's won the Hero World Challenge.
Rom?
Yeah, I have no idea. There's a lot of scary marks. There's the equipment move.
But if you give Xander the credit of being 10 to 1 because he's played well at this tournament, how about the guy who's won 2 of the past 4 years and is probably the best or second best player in the world? But Rom is going to be the same as him?
That's a misprice that goes to maybe Justin is just this
No one
blah
cares. No
guy.
one cares. Yeah.
There's not enough money, like actual money that's bet on them for them to like feel differently. I don't know. I love John Rahm, so I do think they should be probably the same price. Despite the course history, I obviously give an edge to Justin.
You mean the guy who's come first, third, 22nd, and first?
Okay, you're right. You're right. They shouldn't be the same. They shouldn't be the same.
Rahm has never finished outside the top 10 in this tournament, by the way. He's come 2nd, 8th, and 10th. Dustin, I went and looked back since 2011. He's never finished outside the top 10.
Well, let's talk about them both. Rahm, I mean, the equipment news,
We'll cross him off.
No one's worried about it, but I'm not betting him. Especially, even to get a point less, I'd bet Justin.
It's a nice rainbow there.
To me, Dustin gets crossed off too.
It's just too low. Like, I don't think that there's a huge distinction between DJ, Rahm, and Thomas.
Dustin Johnson is the man, and we got to 2, and I think you alluded to it on our fantasy draft shows, which still go watch. They're still applicable. You and your buddies get together, do one yourself, whatever. You mentioned, like, I do believe Dustin winning 2 and winning the one that was always most important to him, the one that he grew up near, the one that was his one, could open a floodgate for him. That maybe I thought would happen after the first, but I'm even more confident we could see a floodgate for Dustin and like a yearly major for the next couple years. But I think he wound it down. I think he's decompressed a little bit, and he'll wind it back up. He's on TikTok doing the sexies with the wifey, and that's what he should be doing. 2 beautiful children, that wife, those in-laws. Dustin, I'm just more ready to bet Justin in a hit and giggle where he dominates.
I agree.
Like, even if Justin was shorter and Dustin was 8, I wouldn't want Dustin right now.
I think it's hard to say you wouldn't want Dustin.
I wouldn't I don't know. I wouldn't feel like I want to make that bet. Like, I feel like in my trying to play amateur psychologist, there's been like a wind down there. And we're going to wind that shit back up again. Now, it's a hit and giggle. Dustin Johnson show up to a hit and giggle, put up a 61, and then have that, see a paycheck, and we're on. As all these guys can. But to me, there's a clear advantage in the similar price range to betting Justin Thomas this week.
Yeah. And
who has a great track record in hit and giggles. Even just one with his pops.
That's true. No, they lost, didn't they?
No, they won.
No, I thought Kuchar and English. No, that was
No!
that was the family event. Yeah.
No, you're talking about something else. I'm talking about the PNC. I don't think Dustin played in the
You didn't play in the father-son
formerly Franklin Templeton, but now it's something else.
QBC shootout.
Yeah.
English and Kuchar won that.
Yeah. And then Justin and his dad, who shouldn't even be allowed to play in that, won.
Dad's too good.
They should send VJ's son a trophy. Like, you won this thing, but the number 3 player in the world decided he wanted to play.
Didn't someone play with his daughter? Like Harrington and his daughter?
Langer's got like 3 kids he could win with, and he's won with like 2 of his kids.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so
You
I
gotta
think
get
he
the
just
third one
wrote
a title?
they'll get a turn, and he played with his daughter. Yeah, they're daughters. That's cool. Annika plays.
Hey, it's just. Do they adjust the T? I didn't watch the second.
Even the O'Maras, man, like came in second place. They shouldn't have to compete with Justin Thomas.
Well, Tiger played.
You're right, but Tiger feels more belonging there than with his 11-year-old son than Justin with his dad that can still hit every putt at like a 70% clip.
There probably should be some sort of like
Tier?
age cutoff.
Bracket?
Like, you need to be like 40 and above to play in it or something.
Listen, that's cool. They did it. Hopefully it was a bucket list thing. I will lose my mind if Justin shows up again with his dad.
Just wins every year for the next 15 years.
Yeah.
Till he has a kid that he can play with.
Because it's not like, this is for like no. But good on them. Good on them.
Yeah, so of the very top end guys, I'll even throw X and Bryson into this as well. It would be Justin Thomas for me too. I don't know if I will pull the trigger at 7 or 8 to 1. Because I want to see how I feel about the guys in the 20s, because I know I say this at the beginning of every year, really trying to cut down the card, like I do for one and done, where I'm only going to try to take good players. I'm going to start trying to bet players I actually think have a chance of winning, and not like, oh, he's 170 to 1, great.
So last year, I don't know if people noticed, you could still think my cards are big. From where we were, I really cut down my cards, and I hit winners.
You hit a ton of winners last year.
I cut down the cards. I just ended betting riffraff. I just ended like riffraff ads.
And you started betting like top 5s and top 10s too, and doing well.
I had to do a video where I gave prop, and if I'm going to give it to you, I'm going to bet it because we're going to be in together. But I just, compact like 20 to 50 to 1, no riffraff. If I like a guy higher, I'll make a move. I might make it smaller. But literally 4 or 5 man cards is what I brought last year, which was down from like 5, 6 man cards with like 2 bombs and shit. For me, that's like pretty much done unless I'm like really feeling pure.
I think it depends on the tournament too.
You're right, because this is low exposure. We're starting off here. You get me to ones I love. We'll get to higher levels of exposure.
Additionally, you hitting so many winners last year really took some shine off me doing well. Well, I did not do well throughout the swing season. That was bad news when I wasn't covering golf full time. But I hit a bunch of winners too, and you're just here like tripling me up. Thanks.
We were doing a good piggyback routine early, then we won together into COVID, and then I just sort of kept up. But no, we won Webb and DJ together. A ton of stuff.
No, we hit a bunch afterwards. You just hit way more. And then we got that Brooks one at St. Jude, like, broke my back. But then I had the double Morikawa, which was nice.
The majors, the Bryson major.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Wolf paid higher odds.
I don't want to do this, but the Bryson major where people were like poo-pooing, even the number was strong. And the one that I was most proud of, Pat, Memorial Rom.
Yes, that was a really good
in
one.
the low 20. You guys do whatever the F you want. Like, you're not, this is, that one felt shiny. Okay, can I make a case? I'm not betting it. Does Bryson at 12 not feel like value? I mean, I've sort of said, I think Dustin shut it down, so I'm afraid of that. I think Rom's got new equipment. I want to see something there. Xander, if I could make a move here, I would probably like him more than Bryson, so I kind of see why the books did that. But Bryson, you want to price Bryson as 5 of 5? To me, you could argue that's blind value because he has been working at it. Because he never stops. Even on Christmas Day, he's probably in the goddamn lab.
And
so
another former John Deere winner. Obviously did not fare too well at the Masters this time around.
And I'm paying almost fucking less than half for JT. I'm almost mad at myself right now.
The way I would look at it is, and this is something how we actually started hitting more winners last year, was basically buy the dip on these guys. And this is a dip for Bryson. He was fucking 10-1 to win the Masters. And now he's 12-1 to win the TOC.
He shouldn't be 5 of 5. You can order them how you want. I won't really.
Xander's not on these guys' level. I'm sorry. He's the next.
I know, but
he's the next tier back.
But I just said I came in hoping to maybe bet Xander. And
At
I didn't
18,
really think about Bryson.
But you were hoping to bet him at 18. You're not betting him at 10. I could be talked into Bryson.
It makes. God damn it.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think that Justin Thomas has a 33%
that's
chance?
what I just told myself. So I'm mad.
So if you have one at 8-1 and one at 12-1, that the implied odds are telling you that Justin Thomas is.
But I've already bet Justin.
So you're not going to bet Bryson unless those are your two bets for the week.
Even at that, I was thinking of making a move like closer to 30 and calling it a week, not at 12.
I mean, I'll probably end up betting Bryson instead of betting Justin Thomas. All the logic in my head says just bet Justin Thomas at 8-1 and go on with the rest of your day.
Isn't Bryson's weakness the 90-yard shot?
But it's also Xander's.
I'm joking.
It's also Xander's weakness too, though. Is the weird thing about it. Bryson might be like there are 4 par 4s on this course, all on the back 9, that are less than 400 yards. Remember when Dustin went train and almost hole-in-one like 2 par 4s here? Bryson's gonna take a shot at that.
If you like Bryson, I'll plug up this DraftKings Sportsbook because I'm not seeing the 12s other places.
DraftKings Sportsbook is offering some generous numbers for the
So
first
that's
event.
a place to bet it. The numbers that I could actually access, to be perfectly honest, at
10
the
for
moment
me.
are shorter than I'd make me more confident in my Justin Thomas lean. But if they're sleeping on Bryson at any point, you eat these effers alive.
So Justin Thomas, both are favorite from this, and then I guess Bryson would be second.
Based on the price list
Based
you
on-
showed me.
based on the odds that
and
we're
I'm
talking
going to
about.
just, this could be dumb, and you could throw it in my face. I don't care. They're both amazing. I'm not really into laying anything on Dustin or John. And if I can get a fair head-to-head with Justin versus them, which I don't think the books will give, I think we'll see in the head-to-head numbers that you're going to have to
It'll be
lay
about
like
even.
30.
It'll
You
be,
think
it'll be minus 110 on both sides if you're lucky.
Then I'll be excited. I think not only do I like Justin to win, I think he's just... I don't think I'm reading into like a hit and giggle with his dad like 2 weeks ago. I just think this is the time of year he just does some damage. I think he's ready to go far more than other guys who might be just winding it up or starting up.
And there was no President's Cup this year to get people ready because basically the first 6 winners of last year were all President's Cup players.
Rom's on new equipment. Dustin's back to like
He's
being
chilling.
sexy and living the best life and wearing his green jacket. And he's the man. And he'll get turned up for when he's got to show up with father-in-law at Pebble. He'll be ready for that maybe, but not this, I don't think. At least winning.
The final thing I'll say about Justin Thomas, and you kind of mentioned it, where when he's just 90 yards away, it's like, oh, he's going to stick it to 2 feet. Never was that more crushing than the Honda Classic 3 years ago.
Listen to playoffs.
When I had the big list outright, and it's the par 5 18th at Honda.
He lays up.
He laid.
List was in trouble.
No, List was already in, and Thomas needed to make birdie to force the playoff, and he hit into the bunker, had to lay up, couldn't go for the green, and basically put it to a foot. And List obviously missed his 8-footer for like eagle or whatever it was, so he couldn't win. So yeah, thanks Justin Thomas. He also hit the rocks and landed on the green in that tournament too. Everything just kind of broke his way. Next level down, we got Cantlay.
Thought about too.
Cantlay and Reed and Webb are all 18-1. Vic and Hideki are 20. Finau, Morikawa, How's Your Burger, 28-1.
I went to bed potentially thinking I could bet Cantlay or Reed this week. I don't know why I chickened out on Reed because I thought anything close to 20 I would fire on.
It's a good number.
Yeah. On it, I'll be honest. You mentioned him. I literally thought my card, like on Saturday, when envisioning what I would be doing, would be Reed and Burger.
And it's funny because I'm going the other way. There's 3 guys I haven't narrowed down to is where I was probably going to start my card with if I didn't jump up and take a Bryson or a Justin Thomas. really digging Hideki. Hideki has never finished worse than T5 in this tournament in his career.
Interesting. Okay.
And it's been a while. I mean, you forget because he hasn't won since 2017. He hasn't been at this tournament. But he loves a good no-cut event. Half of his wins in his career are at no-cut events. And he sucks on Bermuda is the one thing. But these are like the slowest greens on tour. And it's not like he had a bad year last year. I went back and looked at it. 11 of his 12 starts, I think it was, post-COVID, he finished inside the top 30. It's a lot like he basically did what Rory did.
And are you looking at Webb? Because I heard you make a Wyndham comp earlier, so I just knew when you said that. Pat's got a Webb mind.
Think about it. Webb, if we were talking about a course where driving distance isn't the end of the world, and Webb's a fine driver of the ball, but he's not Dustin or Bryson off the tee. He's an excellent wedge player, one of the best, probably akin to Justin Thomas. Now, he faltered towards the end of last year, and maybe that was natural regression after being the best iron player or top 3 iron player in the world for the past 2 years. But we're on Bermuda. You always take Webb on Bermuda. Slow greens. He's one of the best slow green putters. He's basically the really good version of Brendan Todd. And he's a top 10 player in the world, and he's the same odds basically as Victor Hovland, who's great and everything. But
that's an insult to Webb.
I feel like this is a very good price for him.
To call him Brendan Todd.
But like he's not like.
But like you don't need like.
But if you're looking for comps for players, right? Like I think that Morikawa is the better version of Webb, tee to green. But obviously Webb has the huge advantage on the greens. Todd hits every fairway. He's short off the tee, really good with wedges, and makes every putt. Webb is longer off the tee, not quite as accurate, better with his irons overall, and almost as good of a putter. Like, he's the advanced version of what... Like, Todd is playing... Last year, Todd played peak Todd. And peak Todd wasn't even as good as, like, average Webb.
Can I just say something? Dustin literally, like, just tweeted something.
And now your opinions have changed?
No, about a video about there is no such thing as an off-season and clips of him, like, how hard he's been working. I'm not changing my opinion. I still think that like he kind of mentally shut it down and we're going to build that sucker back up and crush out souls again. Hit and giggle just reeks Justin to me. I like going to the wall with Justin in Muck Muck.
2019, Webb played this, came 8th. It was the first time in 5 years he had played. Previous to that, 14, 13, and 12, 3rd, 11th, and 3rd. Gained 7.2 strokes on approach in 2019, too. Couldn't make a putt to save his life, which is kind of weird for Webb Simpson on Bermuda grass greens. So I think that he's somewhat undervalued at 18-1. I've seen him at 20-1 in some spots. It's hard for me to get away from Reed at this number because Reed just plays this course so well, but he gained almost 10 strokes putting last year. Like, it was a really outlier performance a year ago that's just really hard to replicate.
I really wanted to start the year backing him again, but I'm going to go with the good guy in Justin Thomas. And any thoughts?
Do you think that will screw up the cohesion of your card? That if you take super good guy Justin Thomas and villain Patrick Reed, that it might just wash itself out? Not good team unity on the betting card.
I mean, I guess I could. It's a low exposure event. Maybe I make no other moves and walk away with those two. Victor also potential for me, but I don't know if I want to just back him.
It's hard.
I'd rather bet like a Reed or Cantley at 2 shorter points at the moment.
Now, Vic didn't play in this when he won Puerto Rico, but this event, it's not necessarily that it's unkind to first-time winners. It's just we never see first-time winners win. Neiman came 5th last year in his debut, and he was the 7th first-time player.
Did Morikawa play? Because he won.
The 7th.
Oh, sorry. I'm excited.
I get that you're excited. He became the 7th player since 2014 to finish inside the top 5 as a first-time player. Yes, Morikawa did play last year. He was T7. Morikawa was the other one on this list that I was looking at. Now, he's sort of Justin Thomas-y when it comes to putting. He's worse than Justin Thomas on the greens. But super slow greens. I mean, if this is going to be a spot where distance doesn't matter as much, I guess his accuracy is, kind of negated here too because everyone's going to hit the fairway. But if we're just talking about 125 and in, like who's better besides Justin Thomas and Webb Simpson? Who's better than Morikawa from that range? And Dustin.
Morikawa's best asset like 175 to like 190 and in? Like, isn't that like what literally?
I would say just irons is what separates Morikawa from the pack.
Okay,
just from
fine.
Everywhere.
But as we go farther back in the iron sheet, the separation becomes more
Yes, he put it this way: versus the rest of the field, he is better from 200 yards
Yeah.
out, but he's still elite from 125 and in.
But
too.
to me, like all these guys that I want to bet are pretty effing elite from 120. I hope. At least I have some wrong perceptions always.
Victor usually isn't. The big thing with Webb and Morikawa, one is when you get Webb into that range, much like Justin Thomas on these short par fours, they'll just lay up to their number and stick it. Because that's what they do. Morikawa, as we saw throughout the course, basically post-COVID, and even before that, you know who dominates short par fours because he's so accurate with his driver? Morikawa. You give him a drivable par four, and he is all over it. Remember Workday? He ended up winning that. Vic ended up going into the water. Morikawa sticks it 10 feet, misses the putt. The PGA Championship on number 16, everyone else is in the woods, or they're missing to the left. Morikawa puts it 8 feet, makes the putt. Like, he's just good at these types of holes, these shorties. That if his irons are clicking, like he's 25-1. That's a really good number for a guy who won a major last year. Won twice last year and won a major. I feel like that's a bit of disrespect considering maybe it's because Vic just won in the last like real tournament that we saw at Mayakoba, but 25-1's a good number.
I don't know. I mean, we did the show to hype our draft show again. You kind of had us go around the table and rank some of these guys, and a few people had Morikawa behind Vic. So I'm not shocked to see a betting board show that at the moment. Morikawa also not very sexy, but you mentioned it, that his prowess on the short par four. I'm excited to make my decision who's going to be Justin's tag team partner on my card here.
Well, I got a guy for you. They're the one guy I've bet so far. I think you'll probably end up getting him on him too. So I'm going to narrow that down to Webb, Hideki, and Morikawa. Berger, I don't know. I like Berger next week if he plays.
I'm expecting.
I don't know why, and I don't know why I don't like Berger in this.
I'm expecting Berger. I'm expecting all these young guys to keep playing next week.
I mean, if you're gonna go to Hawaii, you might as well just stick around for an extra event, and try to win another $1 million.
Yeah,
I don't think
Rom might even be out there on his like baby moon.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see. I haven't looked at who's confirmed for Sony or not, but I doubt we see DJ or Rom or Bryson. Those guys never play. Xander never plays either. Justin Thomas always plays.
Webb plays?
I would think so. It's a perfect Webb course. I don't see why he wouldn't play.
Yeah, hopefully they play.
Berger and Finau, they're the of this range.
Yeah, I'm leaning more to Berger if I had to bet one.
Sure, but like they're behind for us here.
Yeah, but Berger flirting with 30, I think, is a good, fair place.
All right. Next range, we got Harris English at 35. Ditto with Scotty Scheffler. Neiman, Cam Smith, Sung Jae at 45. Answer at 50, along with Billy Ho and Kevin Kisner. At 55-1. If you have DraftKings Sportsbook, you should go bet this right now. Adam Scott is 55-1. I bet him at 40, and I thought 40 was a good number. I don't know what he's doing down here. What's happening?
Out of sight, out of mind. I don't know.
I think the fact that he just showed up for this tournament is indication enough that he's serious about winning it.
I would agree.
Like, why is he here? He doesn't play anything.
Doesn't have to do anything. He's the coolest man alive. He could drop out of a helicopter. He's the only guy on the planet to me that could take that much time off like he takes, like James Bond, come out of the sky, win the tournament. He slays like that. He slays.
Anyone else in this tier? I like Scheffler. I like Neiman.
Scheffler, I didn't mention, unless you did, when we mentioned guys that got in with the Tour Championship and not the win.
Yeah, he's one of them. I actually have two pieces coming out on Golf Digest this week.
Yeah.
And one of them is the 3 players that will win you money in 2021. Scheffler was one of my guys. I think he's going to have a really good year. First timer at this event. To pick him to win, I think is a lot different than saying I think that he's going to be good this week is like a DraftKings play. But in the outright betting market, I would prefer to take Cam Smith or Sung Jae at 45. Yeah. Like, why can't those guys compete? They both just came second at the Masters.
They're both amazing. They're both going to have big years.
Cam Smith's up and down.
But he's in an up right now. And now we're on comfort course.
Or did we spend the last 6 weeks ripping away all the momentum some of these guys had?
No, I think he should have a good Hawaii swing.
Okay. Are you going to bet any of these guys from this range?
Adam Scott's the only one. I'm done betting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I bet Justin Thomas, and I might bet Adam Scott at 55-1, and I'd like to make one more bet. And if that bet's Berger at 28, then maybe
or Morikawa
or
at
Morikawa at 25, then yeah, maybe I can add a third body at 55. If that pick is Patrick Reed, then no, that's gonna be it for me. We're just chilling. I don't need to overexpose myself here.
All right, I'm going to just reel off the rest of the guys, and you let me know if there's anyone, maybe as a top 10 player or something like that piques your interest. Champ, Sergio, Palmer, Kokrak, Leishman, and Na are all sub 100 to 1. They're like 90 and 80. Ortiz, Todd, Griffin, Munoz, Mackenzie Hughes, Sink, Landry, Michael Thompson, Purdy, Marty Laird, Brian Gay, Robert Streb, Hudson Swafford, Nick Taylor, and Richie Wierenski are like between 100 and 400 to 1. The Leishman at 90,
Yeah.
just bet the talent with him, and he's played this course really well before. Really well.
I like that.
And like
Munoz, I don't mind for a placing or a top 10. And even, who else was I just? Lanto. Like, just talent-wise, I would like them on this list versus the other names.
Now, what if Mackenzie Hughes makes every 90-foot putt this week? Can
green-
he compete?
The greens are so big, we're bound to see it.
Well, let's go to the other side of the course where Mackenzie Hughes, who's 38 over par, is putting for a hole-in-one somehow, and he made it.
We'll see a guy
It's funny that
stand paddling segued into a Mackenzie Hughes 64-footer.
it's really funny to reverse engineer what happened for this tournament, because I don't recall when they actually made the decision to allow all the Tour Championship guys into this. I feel like that was made after the Tour Championship. But remember, Mackenzie Hughes had that putt at the BMW on the 72nd hole to get himself into the Tour Championship. It's turning out to be very profitable for him because he got to go make money at the Tour Championship. Then he gets this invite, which is just free money. So congrats to him.
Big moment, and how could we forget? I mean, that was like huge news.
In Canada for
In
us.
Canada. Can you believe it? Like, oh my God. It was in like, the Prime Minister tweeted him congratulations, and he just got a text from Wayne Gretzky.
Tournament of Champions, 3 appearances for Mark Leishman, 23rd, 7th, 4th. It's not bad. Has a good record at Sony Open as well, so just a good Hawaii
This could be
player.
Mark's time, right? Got that early win early in the year with Torrey Pines last year.
And I think it just depends on. I think the number is large enough at 90. I'm already going against what I was saying about taking guys who I think can win. But I think that of these guys, he's actually someone who could win.
I agree.
He's just playing shitty.
He's playing better than he was 2 months ago.
He came 13th at the
Sorry,
Masters.
4 months ago. We're sort of out of that. And now we're building, and we're sort of at a time where he does play well, Pat. He has great results this time of year in Australia. We usually see those events like an Australian PGA and some of those other things. So this is a time of year he does play well. Him and Cam Smith played together in that, I know we talked about whatever that event was.
Did they?
Yeah.
Were they any good?
No.
Leishman missed the cut on the number at Mayakoba. Kept driving it out of bounds. But hey, driving doesn't really matter all that much here, unless you're like in the ocean.
I'm not betting it. Then wouldn't you bet Kokrak too? Wouldn't you rather bet Kokrak?
No, I would not rather bet Kokrak than Mark Leishman. Are you kidding me? Why would you rather bet Kokrak than Mark Leishman? Kokrak also is a first-timer.
Listen, I take it back. I'm not making a case for any of them. There'll be a time when I'll bet Leishman. I'm not betting it when there's good, really.
If you had to rank, you know who else actually kind of plays, who sets up well for this course is Sergio, who's 80 to 1. Just putts really well on slow greens, and these are, like I said, the slowest you can get. Now that he putts with his eyes closed, he might be a lot better.
So how many players is it?
42.
Whatever.
I actually thought a good bet was Adam. Like, if you didn't want to bet the Adam Scott 55, Adam Scott top 5, plus 750. Maybe that's the play with Leishman. What's Leishman? Leishman top 10 is 4 to 1. Come inside the top 10. Have a putting week and an iron week, Malk. If you had to rank the Canadian players right now, because there's a few of them, what order would you put them in? Because I think that Corey Connors is by far the best of these guys.
We agree.
Okay. He's also in.
It's not even close for me, actually.
Mackenzie Hughes, I think, is ranked higher.
For me, it's not close. Maybe that's unfair of me. I've spoken a lot about Corey before. I would just be repeating myself, but Last year I planned to lose a lot of money betting him, and it didn't really happen because I didn't bet him a lot, but he won me a ton late in the year with props. And this year in a normal schedule where we're not going to get canceled out by COVID, and then the events that I think will be great for Corey aren't like super fields because all the elite players just need to play again because they missed events in COVID. We missed events that I love Corey at, and the other events I would have bet Corey at were just too strong of fields, and I wasn't betting there on the boards.
And he gets a nice, well, I guess it didn't really matter where it fell in the schedule just because people weren't playing Valspar in March when you have match play, Honda, Bay Hill, and players? Yeah, players in March now, right?
Everything's all
But
condensed there.
Valspar is now in like May.
And sorry,
or
isn't
end of April.
WGC Mexico the beginning of March even? Or like the
That's
very
it. Yeah,
end of February?
Yeah, it's Mexico,
'Cause it was the week
Honda,
yeah,
Bay Hill,
exactly.
players?
Could be right.
No, I have to look this up now because Valspar was usually in between players and match play, but are they going to slot something in between that this year? Probably should have looked. 2021. Let's see here. It goes American Express, Farmers, Waste Management, Pebble, Riviera. All right, so Mexico, February 25th. Oh, they moved. Honda really got screwed. I didn't realize that. Did you? It now goes Mexico, Bay Hill, the players, Honda, match play, then Valero, then the Masters. I can see a lot. I guess a lot of people skip Honda anyway, but are people going to skip Bay Hill now?
Doubt it.
You're going to go WGC, Bay Hill, then the players? Like, Tiger's not showing up for all three of those. And he usually plays Bay Hill. Or did he skip Bay Hill last year? I can't remember. That's where we got our Hatton win, right?
Yeah. I think Tiger played Bay Hill. I don't know,
Bay Hill was
actually,
super
no.
hard last year. It was super windy. Leishman came second.
And he's won Bay Hill.
That he has.
Where
He
he
beat my
outdueled
poor Kevin
Kisner,
Kisner
yeah.
that year. Shitty run for me. You hit that. I was sitting there holding the bag with poor Kevin Kisner and a big zero. Picks for the week. Quick picks. I have only bet Adam Scott so far. I think I'm going to make a decision between Thomas and Bryson. And if I do that, I might take one more guy. I'm going to bet the Leishman at the 90, though, and I'll play that with the top 5 each way, or top 4 each way, whatever they're offering this week. It might be top 5 because of the 42 players. Other than that, I'm going to give a very hard look to probably, if I don't go Thomas or Bryson, I'll probably go 2 of Webb, Hideki, and Morikawa. And that's going to be my card this week.
So you sold me on Scott, which essentially makes the decision. It's going to be a 3-man card. Paid the piper for Justin. I like these Scott numbers. It's advantageous. And I'm going to bet one of Morikawa and Berger.
Okay.
So Justin Thomas.
If you want to bet Morikawa, we'll both get it on Morikawa. We can have that fun together.
Yeah, I don't even. You really sold me on his path to actually being able to crush this place.
Hopefully we don't see a repeat of what happened to him at the Sony Open in the 4th round last
But-
year,
but-
where he missed every putt.
But literally on the weekend before odds, like blindly thinking about it, I thought I'd have a Berger Reed pairing.
Okay. The DraftKings show will come out tomorrow. I'm going to see if Raza wants to do that with me. Oh, did want to say, obviously playing the giant one and done, fantasygolfchampionships.com. I told you about the giveaways, the reviews, ratings, subscribe to Mayo Media Network. But there's also a really cool DraftKings season-long contest if you want to get into it. Josh Burkett, our pal, has a new site that he's running, carboncontest.com. You can follow him on Twitter at GWBuffalo7. If you want to get into like a season-long DraftKings style tournament where it's just you pick a new lineup every single week and then it's like a cumulative score, highly suggest you go check that out. Josh, one of the best in the biz. One of our pals on the show.
Like that. Good for him.
Yeah. Excited for him to see how this
You know
goes.
what? Thank you for reminding me. I meant to just reach out to him personally to congratulate him, and I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, so carboncontest.com. You should go check it out, as you should with all of the other shows that are up on Mayo Media Network right now.
He was doing like contests before contests. Sorry. It's the first episode. I had to do that. Don't overreact. I'm sorry.
We still have to film another show and then
I know.
another show tomorrow. NFL is not going anywhere, people, but please get into golf. Golf is a whole lot of fun. It's the most fun sport to bet on. So if you like betting, golf, probably for you. All right, remember to smash a like, give me your early lean down in the comment section. Subscribe to Mayo Media Network and leave one of those ratings and reviews. Plus, if you want to dig into all of the stats, get the simulator, get all of the odds, and use all of the tools, fantasynational.com/Mayo is where you want to do that, all right? I'm Pat Mayo. Thanks for watching. Golf is back. See you next time.
That Mayo experience! Experience!